Hey Marlene, Daphne here again. Thank you for sending in your essays and working so hard. You are doing an amazing job with your work, and to study as well is fantastic. So here we go. Just two things. Number one, write less for this, okay? 170 is plenty. Don't waste your time on that, because this has much more value in terms of marks, okay? So for task 2 is double the marks of task 1. And also always when you're writing, write task 2 first. So give this more time because it has more marks. So many students run out of time in the exam, and then they haven't finished task 2. So you need to make sure you finish this. So in many countries, prison is the most common solution for crimes. However, many think better education is the most effective way to prevent people from committing further crime. It's an interesting title, isn't it? To what extent do you agree or disagree? So nowadays, imprisonment is a preferred punishment for criminal offenders worldwide. Good. Is it preferred or default? So I'm going to be giving you a bit of vocab today. Note it down always. Try and use it again. If you're not sure of the meaning, please look it up. This is quite useful. Default. Opponents argue that jail is not the key answer to hinder criminals from similar behaviour in the future. Good. And so they argue not, however, because if you want however, it's two different ideas in the sentence, and you have the same ideas, which is good. You're going the same direction. So opponents argue jail is not the answer, the key answer, or the key, maybe just the key would be good to hinder criminals from similar behaviour in the future. And it's really and that education. So what we could put is it instead. That would be my preferred. Instead, education. So instead of however, occurs. No, not occurs. You'd have to say offers. Offers or presents. Valuable. So you don't need as. So with offer or prevent, it is just direct object. Valuable alternative instead. This essay, good. That's really nice. Every culture has their own rules and laws, and furthermore the power to judge when citizens commit a crime. Governments have the responsibility to investigate, pursue, really good vocab here, pursue, UE, judge and punish criminal offenders on the basis of their laws, because you're making a difference. Their laws, especially when serious crimes like rape or murder have happened. Present perfect. Because you're talking about either when they happen, present simple, or when they have happened, because it's after the crime that comes the law. After trial, the murderer often faces, so adverb here before verb, often faces a long period sentence in jail, or even the death penalty in certain countries. This strict method of putting offenders away for years is a historical and worldwide approved punishment and morally accepted by most society members. Excellent. I really like this. The main causes for this handling is that the main advocates for this handling are that governments are responsible to secure, this would be responsible for something, their citizens, by locking hard crime offenders away, locking we would say serious offenders. We would say serious offenders or dangerous elements in society. We say dangerous elements in society away. It's weird how you say elements even though they're people. Dangerous elements in society away, and creating. So locking, grammar. So locking and creating. This is the same grammar here. because you've got a lovely complex sentence. Deterrence for other possible offenders. Good. Or just for others. Yeah? Because you don't need to repeat the whole time. It's kind of better coherence. It's cleaner if you don't repeat. A drawback is certainly the financial aspect, as it costs authorities and therefore taxpayers large amounts of money. Excellent. Subsequently, education. I would say education should be. Okay, education is now a seriously discussed issue. Yeah, okay, good, nice. So you're introducing this idea of education, which we haven't really had before. Particularly, so it is argued that particularly, you can't really start with particularly. It doesn't work. It can work, but here it doesn't quite work. You need to introduce your paragraph. It is argued that particularly young criminals, or young criminals in particular, might be reached better by different ways because they are still developing their personalities and behaviour. Okay. Blah blah blah. Something about education. Mention it again. You kind of mentioned it here, but you haven't really told me what you mean. So I think you need a little bit more on education in there. In Germany, several projects are run by social workers and therapists with the goal to re-socialize. Socialize. Why doesn't it like that? I know what you mean. I would go with re-socialize. I think you're right. Re-socialize and reintegrate. Integrate young offenders back into society. One example is to confront the perpetrator with his victim and offer an apology and as a kind of reparation to him. These procedures, so these, plural verb, are considered the most effective way to alter criminal behaviour, despite some exceptions. Despite some exceptions. I think you need another sentence here on education, because you've mentioned education, but what do you mean? This is part of the education programme. So introduce the idea of education programmes and then come into this bit. But very nice, good vocab, very strong on your vocab. It's very clean, very clear. To sum up, in my opinion, imprisonment as well as education are two essential and reasonable options when it comes to punishing, verbs here, and preventing attacks, but ought to be differentiated in order to, yes, according to the crime, and moreover results that should be gained. Yeah, nice one. Very good. I like that. Strong essay. Really, really good, Marlene. Do you feel more confident? For me, you are writing in a much more confident way. You seem more sure of yourself, which is good. Keep on going. Let's keep on. So here we go. 2 pie charts. I really can't see them. They're so small. 2 pie charts and 1 bar chart. So we're going to compare, describe and compare. And this is obviously static, not moving, and these are moving. So different language, aren't they? 2 pie charts compare 3 types of ownership of German capital letter VW automobiles between Scotland and England, whereas the bar chart illustrates the figures of purchase over a period of 8 years. Good. Overall, it can be seen that buying was the preferred choice of both nations, while the Scottish bought significantly more than the English did. Good. Really nice. 2 great paragraphs. In 1998, the most popular way to drive was by buying it. Yeah, nice. We need a couple of words here. Sharing. Chosen by 20%. So you could put that in by. So rather than this, it's a little bit shorter. Whereas in Britain, both options were similar, or both options were similar. Okay, Lysinger was or just witness the least customers. Yeah, appealed to the least customers might be quite nice. I'm not sure if leasing can witness, but leasing can appeal to. Good. Over the whole period, whole time period, Scotland had constantly higher sale numbers than England. So you don't need that because we know what you're talking about. You've already introduced it at the beginning with peaks that are up. Yeah, good. Great Britain's purchases of VWs were less, although connecting word is quite nice here. The highest figures were reached in 97. Yep. Which occupied nearly half, which accounted for. It's just the choice of your verb here. The grammar's okay, which accounted for nearly half in comprehension in comparison, or in relation to would be also quite nice, but not comprehension for Scotland for the same period. Oh, well, no. Scotland in that, yes, over the same years or in that period. Additionally, in 1995, English car drivers chose the German car the least. Okay, maybe not additionally, maybe notably. Additionally is almost like more for task 2, but you're drawing my attention to something. Notably in 95, English capital letters. English drivers, you don't need that, chose the German car the least. Yeah, with barely the least. Or you could have a mere 20,000. English drivers chose this German car, which was the which was the least. So I'm not cutting words, and I'm just probably adding words here. Okay, all right. I quite like this though. The mere 20,000. Just you're making the point that it's so much less than the others. Well done. Really good work, Marlene. Fantastic. I hope you can have a relaxing weekend. But you've worked brilliantly this week. Really, really good. Well done.